Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hi, it's Jackie Cation. Welcome to the Dork Forest. You know the websites, JackieCation.com, DorkForest.com, TheDorkForest.com. I haven't bought FamilyPetAncestry.com because it made me laugh, and then I wrote a joke about it, or the other way. You know the credits. Let's do them. Patrick Brady's going to fix this audio. Thank you, Patrick Brady. Mike Rickberg sang the intro song, wrote and composed the intro song, and then Mike will sing his lyrics to the Mexican Hat Dance at the end of the program. And Vilmos fixes my website, JackieCation.com. You can listen to the show on any website, on the websites listed that I've mentioned. In addition, allthingscomedy.com. You can listen to it on that through the SoundCloud. And you can listen to it on iTunes. You can review it on iTunes. You can email me at jackie@JackieCation.com and review it to my face, my digital face. You can go on Facebook to the Ranger of the Dork Forest group and bond with other Dork Forest Rangers. They started a book club on Goodreads, a Ranger book club. So if you want to gather and get to know other folks, other Rangers, that's a good place to do that as well. You can buy merch at JackieCation.com. You can get Ranger t-shirts or Dork Forest t-shirts. They're all union made, so they run a little big and made in America. The prices include the cost of shipping. I will ship them anywhere in the world. International is slightly more expensive because obviously I'm shipping it slightly farther. And I do have in stock some zip hoodies. So email me at Jackie@JackieCation if you wonder if I have your size in a gray zip hooded sweatshirt. Other than that, there's the Amazon banner on JackieCation.com. If you order from Amazon through that portal, doesn't cost you extra, but I get a kickback. There's a donation button on DorkForest.com or JackieCation.com where you can donate directly to the program if you enjoy the show. Or you can just tell people about it. This month's ad is for my friend Jenny Bergman. Jenny Bergman has a toy store on the Upper West Side of Manhattan called West Side Kids, and I freaking love it. It's all, Tina Fey mentions it in Bossy Pants as a place to get a wooden toy. But there's also really normal toys too. It's not just hippy skippy toys like that. But my favorite thing that they do have is kind of hippy skippy because they have costumes that you can buy the kids. And they have all the different, they have building blocks and all these things. And they have things for babies up till, you know, well into your tens, your tweens. But I love those costumes, man. So if you ever get a chance to go to West Side Kids on 84th in Amsterdam, on the Upper West Side, say hi to Jenny Bergman for me. I went to college with her. She's a good friend of mine, and that's this month's ad is for that. Let's get into the show. Hey, it's Jackie Cation. Welcome to the Dork Forest. I'm sitting here with Beth Littleford, who, great comic that I haven't seen you in a million years.
Yeah.
1 million years ago.
People call me a comic. I've done stand-up maybe twice, and it's been embarrassing both times.
Okay, so maybe we think you should do stand-up.
Yeah, I think people think that I'm a funny gal, which I would certainly own that.
Comedic actress, dog with a blog, maybe not your shining moment of what you're allowed to do. I
can't decide if I'm horrified by that or pleased by that. I think I'm both. I have to tell you, the kids love it. And I'm talking like the Make-A-Wish kids love it. They like come to the set. And I don't mean to be, does that sound glib?
No, it's whenever.
My God, you're like making a difference in these kids' lives. And they're super fans. And you're like, all right, it's a cheese ball show and I'm a cheese ball on it. But it is old school funny that I enjoy doing.
It's goofy and funny, and you're doing the thing that you're asked to do, right?
I'm doing the thing that I asked to do, and I actually do the thing that I secretly would much rather do than all the stuff I did on The Daily Show. And I know all you fans, you Dork Forest fans are probably like, what the how'd you go from The Daily Show to the Disney Channel? It's called Paying the Mortgage.
Right.
But they're also, my dirty little secret is that I'd rather just be super goofy than like go out and try to
change the world or.
Well, I don't know if we were, in the early days of the Daily Show, we were just trying to rip people new assholes. I mean, it was a little cruel, I mean, it was that sort of like, we're going to pretend that we're not making fun of you.
Right. And then we're going to invite you to be on the show. Do you want to be on the show? Sure. Yeah. And, here's the last audition I went out for was on a Disney show as a massage therapist. It's been months since I've been on.
We had
an
a
audition.
massage therapist on our show.
I don't think it was Dog with a Blog.
Oh.
It was German. I was supposed to be
That was
German.
Dog with the Blog, lady.
Lady,
That was Dog. You would have been massaging me.
Would I?
You
that would have been hilarious.
Oh,
that would have been
shit.
high stare. I wish I would have known that because I probably.
Are we allowed to cuss on this podcast?
Fucking A. And
Fuck it. Yeah,
let me tell you that the note I got back from the casting director via my manager,
Carol Goldwasser,
very nice lady, super nice.
Loves comedy, loves good comics.
And she supposedly and this might have just been my manager trying to get me to take an acting class because she said, hey, she said you were really funny and really nice, but you needed an acting class. And I was like, did she say that? I could. Wow. I've taken them. I could take them again.
It was a little better than what I don't know, because that's something that you can, okay, I'll go do that.
Yeah.
Alexander Payne, when I tested for an HBO, when it's for Hung, he said, I wanted you and I think you were the best, but, too many cooks, they didn't think you were good looking enough.
You know what I love about show business?
It's like,
that someone can say that to you and you're supposed to go,
yeah,
okay. All right.
Well, thanks, Alexander
I'm
Payne.
working on becoming better looking.
As I age in this effing business.
Right. I'm
my
so
God. It's sort of brutal. But anyways, okay. So how did you bounce back from that? Was that an okay note to hear?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's been worse. Are you kidding me? One of my favorite
brutal industry.
Like 4 months ago, some woman came up to me after a show and she goes, "You shouldn't eat after 7 p.m."
Oh,
I don't do any material about my weight, by the way.
Oh God.
And but it was
Keep it to yourself,
unsolicited.
lady.
And I was like, well, that's actually quite difficult as I sleep most of the day, and then I'm hungry.
Oh God, you do, right?
Right.
Oh no, because you're out late at night. No, there's the people who think they're being nice when they go,
But she's helping.
You look so much better in real life. They say to me, oh, you're much better looking in real life. Well, I make my living on the TV. And is it that bad? It's really that bad, my look on the TV?
Do you just appreciate that I look more human face to face?
They think they're comforting me by saying that I'm better. I'm prettier in real life.
Oh,
don't worry, you're prettier in real life. You're okay.
Brutal.
It's a brutal industry. Okay,
but that
can stop.
So Dog with a Blog.
That.
But what I was going to say is Frank Conniff, when he used to write for Sabrina.
Yeah.
He said, people would ask me about it, and my only defense was, well, people like it.
That's my defense. That's my go-to. That's my go-to is that people like it. It ain't your listeners. It's a lowbrow fan base.
It's for children.
And it's for children. They would say it's for families.
It's for the whole family?
They would say it's for the whole family. And I have to tell you, we do have families like it. Again, not a highbrow fan base of families, but a fan base of families that it's like, okay, well, good. Yes. I'm glad you guys can all enjoy us.
And I read an article, and Maria actually Bamford is doing a very funny joke about how powerful articles are. We all know how powerful articles are.
Right. What the article said?
The article said that the most popular television show among immigrant Mexican and South American families is The Simpsons.
I love that.
Isn't it neat? But they said that the speculation was because it was a 2-parent household. Oh. And how crazy is that? Even though,
well, that's a little bit sort of a random place to land because it was a 2-parent household.
Yeah, because
aren't there a lot of 2-parent households?
Well, and they go to
Family Guy.
Right. Well, and they go to church.
They do go to church.
Right.
There's pastors.
Yep.
On The Simpsons.
And it's
that's funny.
It's a free for all on all of these people, but the frame is there.
That's hilarious. The frame of an intact family.
Yep. The frame of some sort of
blended
Catholic
family on Dog with a Blog. I think they were trying.
The dog is blended.
Well, the dog is blended, but people don't even remember it. And they never, of course, it's like the Brady Bunch. They never address what happened to the original parents of the, we have the oldest son. I don't know how many people are watching the damn show, but the oldest son looks like he's Mohican.
Okay.
And the youngest daughter, and they're both from the dad.
Okay.
Looks like she's an Irish lassie.
Okay.
Okay. So they both came from his, I guess, previous marriage or several marriages.
Right.
And then I have the middle child. She's mine.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So we came together as a blended family. We've only been together for pretty much the three seasons of the show.
Oh my God. And I was going to tell you that because I've been going on the road with Brian Regan and his daughter, who was 11, loves.
I love Brian Regan. Now, does Brian Regan, what does he say about the show? Like, oh my God.
Oh, he likes it.
Oh, he likes it.
I think what people don't know about Brian Regan, what you should assume about Brian Regan, is that he's one of the sweetest guys in the world.
I think I know that.
Right.
I don't know him personally, but I think
instinctively you look at Brian Regan and you go, oh, that guy, you know what he is? A really good dad.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah. Those kids they're some of the most polite, interesting children I've ever met in my life. And I think he brought them with, cause, I was the first woman to work on the road with him. And I guess another friend of mine said, he was nervous about that. And he didn't want you to feel uncomfortable at all on the bus because it's a tour bus. And I said, does he know I've been doing stand-up comedy for 30 years and hanging out with dirtbags?
Sweet of you.
Very sweet. Right. Incredibly thoughtful.
Yeah.
So I've met his children, and his children, we sit around talk about video games and books, and our lives are complete.
That's fantastic. And I'm glad to hear he doesn't mock the show, because I do have to put up with people mocking the show.
Oh, I'm sure that's,
I do.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Do you have any brothers?
I don't have any brothers. I don't have any brothers. You know, and, yeah, it's a Disney Channel show. What are you going to do?
Right.
There's some funny in there, and oh my God, I'm protesting way too much, but they are writers.
I read that Shakespeare. I read that one. You want to marry Dog with a Blog.
There's the writers are from the writers and the directors. Yeah. They're from network shows. They're from Frasier. They're from Roseanne. They're
adults.
You know, they're good comedy writers. And,
yes.
But it's old school sitcom writing. There's some really,
right.
But,
yes. But they're also fulfilling that. They're told to fulfill a certain niche.
What they need.
Yes.
What they need on the Disney Channel.
What is that show?
We got an Emmy nomination. Oh, I'm protesting way too much. God,
yeah.
Let's cut this part out.
Okay, how about Pretty Little Liars?
Pretty Little Liars. Now that's a whole different demographic.
If they had a dog with a blog in if they brought that dog into Pretty Little Liars, because what I picture in that writer's room is a bunch of 45-year-old guys who were like, how can we make two actresses make out?
That's a whole different.
It's a brave new world of trying to make.
Do you watch Pretty Little Liars? Because I don't.
I saw one because I was on a Pretty Little Podcast. It was what it was called, Pretty Little Podcast.
Was it?
Yeah. Here's what I like to do eventually is talk to people about what they dork out about.
Yes.
Welcome to the Dork Forest, Beth Littleford.
Thank you.
Let me stop asking you about your career.
You know what? Dog with a Blog is dorky.
That is pretty dorky.
We just touched on a lot of dorkiness.
We went down a rabbit hole.
I dork out on Dog with a Blog. So there we go. We touched on one topic.
What about dancing? Dun, 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 dun.
I'm super dorky about dancing.
Dancing.
Because I don't stop.
Swing?
I dance any chance. No,
Ballroom?
not swing. Well, you know what? I did do a little.
Minuets? What are we talking about?
Well, embarrassingly enough, we're talking about hip hop.
Oh.
That's my favorite kind. My
Crunk?
body.
Can you spin?
Well, here's the thing. It's brutal on the bod. So just Sunday, I took a hip hop class. I was in the oldest 10th percentile. And I had a gorgeous young, beautiful dancer, young Asian man say to me, "Oh, it's so cool to watch you. You're so cool." And the rest of that sentence was for a middle-aged white lady. That's so great that a middle-aged white lady.
The fact that
I was bringing some, and then I was like, oh my God, he told me I was cool. So I brought more.
Yep.
I threw my neck out.
Oh,
I was just at the chiropractor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the thing is, hip hop is brutal to a young body.
Right.
To this arthritic spine, I have an 80-year-old spine. It's really brutal.
You were born with an 80-year-old spine.
But I was born with an 80-year-old spine. It's just gotten worse. I do love the dance. I will dance in the aisles of the supermarket. I'll dance in my car. I've asked to dance on Dog with a Blog. I asked to dance on the Daily Show. I asked to dance on any show I've been on. I asked to dance on the Hard Times of R.J. Berger.
Could I dance in it?
Could I dance on it? That's a talent I have. I can dance and be dorky and still okay.
Bro, let's go back a little bit about the dance.
Let's do it.
When did you fall in love with dance?
As a young gal, I fell in love with the dance.
Really?
And I left.
You have a dancer's body. Did you take dance as a kid?
I took dance as a kid.
And the
I did dance as a kid, but when
the bendy dances?
Do you remember? Did you do it? It was no fun.
No, it was never fun.
It was never fun. It might be fun now because they let you dance to songs you actually enjoy
right.
as a young gal. But then it was ballet and it was tap and it was.
Did you take all of those?
Yeah, I did. I took ballet, tap.
You're
and
a triple threat. Can you sing?
No. And I can't do ballet or tap. I could fake ballet.
You could fake ballet.
I could fake a little tap. Perhaps.
You could, exactly.
But then when I finally got into jazz in high school, I was like, oh, this is jazzy. I like a little jazzy.
Right. Bring the hands. Bring the hands.
Bring the hands. Bring the kicks, the high kicks.
Right.
But the high cut leotards, the little 80s.
Oh yeah,
a good looking 80s thing with some
cut out. Very nice. Very nice.
And leg warmer.
Right.
Oh
with
my God.
Possibly a tight and then a leg warmer.
A tight and a leg warmer.
That's coming back, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Do you predict or have you seen it?
I've seen leg warmers. They're out and about.
Oh boy.
They're in the world.
Should I look into them? I'm too old.
Possibly.
Old.
It's one of my favorite things about all exercise is that you can buy a new pair of pants.
You could buy a new pair
There's
of
the
pants.
sweatpants. There's might be a mat.
I took up tennis. It was an ill-advised idea, but it was fun to shop for tennis clothes.
It is. And the racket. You're like, well, I'm obviously going to love this, so I'm going to spend way too much money on a racket.
I stopped smoking and I gave myself tennis lessons and sewing lessons, both of which were horrible ideas because there's a big learning curve on both. You're horrible at it and you're frustrated
for a long time.
For a long,
but then you
time.
Then you can hit it if you stick it out.
I never got great at tennis.
You didn't?
I did get good at sewing.
There you go.
And we can move on to that dorkiness. But what I do want to say about dancing is that. Embarrassingly enough, I'm obsessed with learning the Thriller dance. And I've pulled that out at dinner parties.
The choreography for the
Thriller. I know it all. I could teach it.
How
did
long
teach
is
it
that
to my
song?
son's
that
preschool.
Song is long, isn't it?
That's a 7-minute dance.
That's a 7-minute dance.
Yeah. And boy, that'll F up your spine.
Oh.
I'm trying to not cuss.
Okay.
That'll crunk you up.
So let's talk about the different moves. Now, Thriller, there seems to be a zombie. There's a zombie thing with the hands.
Oh, and there's a zombie thing with the hand. There's not only there's this thrusting. There's a jerkiness to it because zombies are jerky.
Right.
They're jerky when they move.
Right, because they don't understand
jerky when they dance.
Yeah, they are not graceful.
They're not.
It's
they're
so
not
sad
smooth.
about.
Unfortunately,
there's
rigor mortis has set in. Rigor mortis has set in. The dancing is jerky with the zombies. So you do a lot of jerking in the Thriller dance. So I hurt for days afterwards. But every Halloween I get up there. I have a teacher who was in the original video, and I assist her every year.
I love
in
Los
a
Angeles.
workshop.
I enjoy Los Angeles.
I know,
only in Los Angeles.
Fantastic.
It's the best. You're just like, oh my God, I could wear a weird hat out. Yes, you could. And you might meet the woman or man who was in the original Thriller video.
And I'll take credit for the suggestion. I said, you know what you're teaching? It was a dance class. And I said, you're teaching on Sunday, October 31st. Why don't you teach the Thriller dance? And it's now become a huge thing and people come in full makeup.
Oh my God.
And zombie clothes. And I get up front and I help teach it. I think I help teach it. I really just get up front and kind of show off.
She just lets her. She lets you get up front. That's awesome.
I brought it to the preschool. I had my son's preschool graduation. We did a very amended, very much easier version of it.
We're talking 3-4-year-olds here.
We're talking, well, they were 5. They were super cute.
But adorable.
Oh my God. And I stood at the back and I did it. I started crying after we finished. I started crying with joy. How dorky is that? I've asked my son if he'll let me bring it to his primary school. He said no.
You said prom night. We'll do it. I will be there. I will be there.
I'm gonna flash mob. Unbeknownst to you, I'm gonna form a flash mob. It's gonna be a secret. I'm gonna bust it out in your prom.
Yes, please do that, and then invite me just to. I'll bring a flip phone, or something, and I'll record it. That is fun stuff.
It's super dorky.
So that is a specific dance.
Mm-hmm.
I need now. Let's talk recently about. Because Lorraine Newman was talking about dubstep and how much she enjoys electronic dance music.
See, dubstep is a very hip new thing, isn't it?
She said she's been to every Coachella.
Well, Coachella's, I would consider it not dorky. I would consider it way too hip for me.
Well, the thing about the
someone of my age,
but she's 61.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, and told me, and good for her as well. But
good for her for telling.
Yeah,
living up to
again,
it.
we live here. So, but the weird thing about is that the dorkdom doesn't have to be what others, because this is the safest space.
It doesn't have to be nerdy. It just has to be something you're really into.
You should listen to that episode with the lady with the bees. Holy smokes!
Oh boy,
she loved bees. And then the mushroom episode. Just foraging for mushrooms.
And this you could talk for an hour about these things.
Oh, people. Jimmy Pardo spoke of the band Chicago for 56 minutes.
Well, they did have a lot of hits.
They had a lot of hits. His first thing is he went through everyone who had been in the band without notes. He was very proud of himself.
He just knew it by heart.
He just knew it by heart because he's a madman. Anyway, but so you're in these classes where you're dancing and you're
super
learning
joyful.
different, and it's super joyful.
It's super joyful. My body is better off if I go to the old people dance classes, because you can find the old people dance classes.
And are those more stretch? Like you stretch before
they're not crunking as hard. They're not popping and locking as hard. Do I even know? There's a.
It's the jerkiness.
It's the jerky. It's the jerky zombie movement. Except for it's these young kids. Well, so I just went to the chiropractor, as I told you, for the migraine that ensued after the hip hop class, and he said he's been seeing Grammy dancers all week. Because they're in their 22, but their bodies are fucked because they've been popping and locking and jerking and whatever you do when you dance at the Grammys.
That's it. When you dance at the Grammys, I don't care if that shark costume or not, you are popping and locking in that costume.
I didn't see it. Was there a shark costume?
Yeah. Which I do a joke about Andy wanting me to wear a shark costume during sex.
Oh, that's it's very close to the fluff. What's it called? The fuzzy when you do furries.
Yeah. Haven't had a furry.
You need to get a furry.
I've had cosplay on, and I've had people who sew costumes and stuff. So when you took sewing classes, look at how seamless that was.
You're such a smooth segue.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I got really into sewing. I abandoned tennis. I have not abandoned sewing.
Right.
I'm proud of myself for being a kind of a home deck gal.
Okay.
People need
Becky
something. Becky Homecki.
You're in.
I'm in. I never took a class until I stopped smoking at,
and you're like, I need
almost
something
in middle
to do with my
age, and I need
hands?
something to do with my hands. Okay, bad idea, because sewing, like I say, the learning curve is just like, I want to destroy the machine.
Right.
But once you get good, and the truth of the matter is, it's never cheaper to sew. You think, I'll make homemade clothes. Well, what I'm doing is I'm going to a sewing teacher to help me make homemade clothes. I'm buying a pattern. I'm buying fabric.
Yes.
I'm buying the matching thread, and I'm going to the teacher who I have to pay hourly to help me sew the dress.
Help you sew the dress. And then, she's teaching you how to sew the dress.
So
are you making, what are you making?
Well, I've made all kinds of things. My first project was linen curtains for the home. Linen is very hard fabric.
That is a hard fabric.
You have to iron the hell out of it.
Yeah, and it will wrinkle in a heartbeat.
It will wrinkle. It's
if you
hard
look
to
at
stay. It's hard to stay. With a curtain, it has to hang right. It's hard to get the right hang. You have to line it. Mm-hmm. Lining is a bitch.
Oh, right, because you want it to
you want it to be heavy and
right.
And
you got a
quality curtain.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and I've done silk curtains. I've done a lot of pillows for a lot of people.
A lot of pillows. What do you think of this pillow we bought over there at some sort of Pier 1 or something?
I'm sure you bought it for cheaper than I could sew it for.
Well, I'm sure, because it was probably made by a toddler.
It was made by a toddler in the
they do
Southeast
excellent
Asia.
work. Yes.
And
those guys can knock out a sewing machine in a minute.
And
those
guys. If it's on sale at Pier 1, I'm an expert in sales. I've told you that.
That's right.
If it's on sale at Pier 1, you're getting it for much cheaper than I could make it.
Maybe.
Than I could ever make it.
But, so because I took home ec in junior high.
Yeah, I never did.
You never did? Did you take shop?
No.
Was it a school that didn't?
What did I do? They didn't
gym?
offer it.
They
offered gym. They offered typing. I'm a fast typist.
Oh, I took typing in high school.
That was high school. Yeah.
Did they do that thing? All right, I've digressed. But when you took the typing,
loopy trails.
Did they ever? Because it was memorization, right? You did finger.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a good typist.
You're a pretty good typist, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to ever say that when you go into a business situation.
No.
Because all of a sudden, then you're taking
the secretary.
Notes.
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
No.
And but. I remember
secretary in my family. I'm the damn secretary of my family. I don't need to be a secretary in a business.
Exactly.
Right.
So he turned off the lights, and then he was like, and now type these words.
Type in the dark.
Typing in the dark.
How'd you do?
I did well. I'm really good. My sister would make me do her typing.
See.
Yeah. And then
you
later.
Can't brag about it, because then people will just make you type.
Right. Well, then later she got faster than me, and I was like, well, remember who got you through that typing class in high school? And she was like, you did, but now I can type.
It's one of the few things in high school that I used. It's usable.
It's super usable.
Yeah. I didn't know that my AP chemistry was. Did I just brag by saying AP?
Yeah,
a little
you did.
bit.
You
a
brought
little
it.
bit.
I passed chemistry. What the hell was that guy's name? Because I always said I passed by the grace of God. And Mr. Sumac, what the hell was that guy's name? Because he let me pass, and I was a mess. I lost my glasses in 10th grade.
Oh dear.
And my parents were sick of me losing my glasses, so they didn't buy me new glasses.
It's very punishing.
It was super punishing. They were like, you're not getting new glasses. And
What'd you do?
I learned to recognize people by their shapes.
Holy God, you really were blind and they wouldn't buy you new glasses.
Right. I mean, I'm
trying on her glasses now.
Beth Littleford.
Holy God.
Right. I can't, you are a blur and you are 2 feet from me.
That's crazy.
Right. And so I would sit in the front row. I failed trigonometry.
Oh God.
Right. But the thing is I don't know that I would have passed. Had I had all
at least you have the excuse.
Oh, and I will milk that for the entirety of my life.
At least you have the excuse. I think you know what? I think I bragged about AP Chem because I was going to bring up my AP Chem Lab partner, who I think now is a bajillionaire in Silicon Valley. Because the other thing I was going to say that goes with dancing.
Yeah.
For me is that I love to sing while I dance. Not sing. No, I can't sing. I love to lip sync.
Oh. You mouth the words.
I mouth the words and
But you're not even singing.
No, I'm mouthing. I'm lip syncing and I'm good at it. And I won a contest against Harold Zatz. He was my AP Chem partner. Harold Zatz. It's what a name, right? He asked me to prom. Name. He's the only one who asked me to prom. I said no.
You couldn't go.
I said, I don't believe in prom.
Oh, very nice.
Was that a good excuse?
It's a good excuse. Kurt Arndt asked me to homecoming the day before homecoming, but he didn't because he came up to me and said, I want to ask you something. And I said, you aren't asking me to homecoming the day before homecoming, are you? And he said, no, I'm not.
Is it devastating to these guys?
Do you know what he said? What? Do you want to go out to dinner? And I said, yes.
Oh, that's lovely.
And so we did.
That's lovely.
And it was the only date I had in high school. And my mother bought us champagne. That's how psyched she was that I had a fucking
no glasses,
date.
but yes, champagne.
Yeah, champagne when you're 16 and he's going to drive. Good idea, Nancy Cation. Not. So, but you can lip sync.
So I beat him in a lip sync contest. He did Weird Al Yankovic. It was the last night of high school. They locked us in for a grad night. It was a lock-in because there were so many, drunk driving deaths on the last night of high school.
Sure.
I supported it. I supported the lock-in.
Yeah.
We did a lip sync contest. It was just me and him because no one else was dorky enough to do it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was just me and Harold Zatz. And he did Weird Al and I did Shattered by the Rolling Stones, which is a very hard one.
I don't know. I don't know that song offhand.
Okay. Oh God. Ooh, Shaubi, shattered. What say? Shaubi, I don't even know the words anymore, but there's a lot of sort of scatting. Mick Jagger's kind of scatting.
And you nailed every syllable?
And I believe that I nailed every syllable. Which is interesting, which is why, another thing that's sort of dorky about me is that I want the music that I know and can lip sync to. I don't want to go see live music. Because I don't know.
If you knew the whole album, you might.
If it's going to be the Stones.
I'm the same.
Is it right? But I went to visit a friend in Portland and she knows I love to dance and she said, what should I, Mary asked her friend, where should I take my friend Beth? She loves to dance. And she said, well, there's this club and that, in Portland, there's a lot of live music. And she goes, well, she doesn't like live music. And my friend Mary said, my friend of Mary said, who doesn't like live music?
You're in the safest space in the world because live music is too loud. And I was born 107 years old and I've never enjoyed live music.
Okay. I'm glad to know it.
You are not alone, my
friend. The
friend.
people I hang out with, the college I went to,
everybody loves live music.
Everybody loves live music and you're the old person when you say, you know what? No, thanks.
I'm
not going to join you at the Knitting Factory.
I had all of Ice-T's albums and I went and saw him live and I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. It was with Jane's Addiction. It was the first or second year of one of those Coachella-like things.
Right, and most people would be like, "Oh,
you got to see that?
What?
Right?
Oh, dude!" And then no.
Nope, I saw REO Speedwagon and April Wine in the World Series of Rock in 1982 or something.
And it was disappointing,
and it was okay because there was beer.
Oh, there was beer.
Yeah,
okay.
And I was 14 or 15, so it was fine. I was like, I'll do this, and there was a very cute boy sitting next to me, so I could stare deeply into his eyes and do nothing about it.
That's nice. No, when you're a teen, I did it when I was a teen. Mm-hmm. I jumped onto stage and molested Adam Ant when I was a teen. I did.
Adam Ant?
We are really digressing,
but that was neat.
That was kind of neat, and it was a real high. And I developed a brief obsession, and was trying to plan a trip to England to find him.
You've danced with Adam Ant, is what it is.
You know what?
That's
we're bringing it back to dance.
I'll bring it back to
dance.
I
did dance. He put his arm briefly around me. Security came and got me, and I believe that he said, as security led me off the stage, I believe that he said, "Be gentle with her."
Aww.
I believe that Adam Ant said that. I might be making it up.
You know what?
In my corrected memory, that is there. Perfect. It's part of the story.
And you know what? It makes Adam Ant the hero of that story. Quite honestly, like, good for him.
Adam Ant was adamant about their being gentle.
Yes, there's no reason to beat up a child.
No, I was in junior high at the time.
Right, you were a 13-year-old. Please don't hurt her. And that is.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's the dancing. There's the lip syncing. I'll do it in the grocery. I'll do it any chance I get.
So how long have you been sewing, would you say?
Oh, so the sewing. Okay. So I quit smoking. God, I should mark
well,
it.
how long have you quit smoking?
Like it's sobriety. It's because I was a heavy smoker. I mean, I would wheel an IV out of the hospital, with me to go and have a cigarette while I was,
Oh, that's hilarious.
Hospitalized. Heavy smoker, never even tried to stop from an early age, 2-pack a day. And
that's plenty of cigarettes. That's 40 cigarettes.
I stopped 10, 11 years ago. And
then started sewing.
And I wouldn't recommend it to people stop sewing, but I did start to love it.
Yeah.
I did start to choose it as my Saturday night activity. Like I'll stay home and I'll make something.
And here's my question. What are the things that you can make without the lady?
I can make a pillow. A pillow's easy.
Pillow's easy.
Pillow's easy. I've done a lot of pillows for friends.
What do you like to stuff a pillow with, if I might be so bold?
You go to Joann's and you buy the stuffing.
Oh, pillow stuffing.
Yeah, pillow
There's
stuffing.
no, like you
No, I mean, if I was going to get really clean, what I've done is, you can go downtown LA, you can get foam. You can get,
hypoallergenic.
Right. You can wrap the foam in batting.
Okay.
This is for a big cushion, let's say.
Okay.
I sewed my outdoor, I have a rocker outdoors, a love seat rocker, and I sewed the cushion for that. That was foam and batting.
And what?
And a nice, there's a piping.
Is there a piping on it?
There's a piping.
And what is the fabric? What did you go with? Did you have to go with an indoor-outdoor?
An indoor-outdoor, of course.
What kind of fabric is that?
It's
called an indoor-outdoor.
It's called
fabric?
indoor-outdoor fabric. It's more resilient to the elements.
Right. And did you go with a darker color?
I did because you know what? I haven't on some outdoor pillows and they look trashy. It gets white trash very, very soon. It gets
right.
Yeah, you're at a trailer park just within a season.
Did you ever do any of the other things like crocheting or knitting?
I tried to knit when I was pregnant and I was on bed rest. I tried to knit. That made me want to stick the knitting needles in my eyes.
Right.
It didn't. That learning curve was also I never got.
Right, because you got to get over the hump.
I think
that's what it is.
I never got over the hump, but I did with sewing. So I can look. This is my favorite soft pillowcase.
Yeah,
there's a rip in it because it's so soft and worn. Pull out the sewing machine.
I can darn.
Yeah, so that's a darning. Is that a darning? That's a sock.
No, darning is a sock, and it's like a weave kind of situation.
Oh, it's a weave. Oh, that's impressive.
It's weird. I remember when my grandmother taught me how to darn, and I fixed my dad's socks, and he said, "This reminds me of my childhood, and I'm going to buy new socks."
Wait, so that's a complicated, like reweaving? I have to take if I tear a nice sweater
patch.
Or a nice pair of pants, I take it to the reweaver because it's hard to make it look good.
Right. I couldn't. I was
a sock,
child.
so yeah.
And I was like, well, you're just going to wear it. And he said, it's uneven. My grandmother, your grandmother would make us do this, and I'm never wearing that sock again. And I was like, fair enough, Dad.
No, I've sewed shut a lot of socks, the holes in socks. They don't look good, but it's in a shoe.
Let's talk briefly about thread count. Have you done sheets ever? Have you ever tried to make your own sheets?
I have taken sheets to make a comforter cover.
Okay. Like a duvet?
A duvet cover with another piece of fabric on the front, and a nice piping on that.
Two-color?
And a nice, it was just a pair of yellow sheets, but I'll get into bargain hunting soon, but of course it was all on sale. And so the decorative, center of the top of the duvet, I did sort of a diamond, you did a little design. I did a design. I did a piping. Ultimately, I decided with all that effort, it was not that good looking.
Oh.
It was a good effort. It was a good effort.
Good effort. You learned something when you did it. You had to give it away.
I gave it away.
That's
so that's the most I've done with sheets, and I've sewed up sheets. Just because I like how soft they get.
Right.
When they're well worn.
Did you hear this I heard this about sheets is that, the 1,000, you can't go really above a 400 thread count. Cause then.
Maybe that's the problem with my new sheets. They're stiff. Like 1,000 and they're stiff as hell. They're like cardboard.
It's because, the thread's going this way for 400 thread count and then it's going the other way. And all it is making it more dense.
I feel like I need to hire a toddler in Southeast Asia to wash it 20 times because it's so stiff.
Scrape. It's two. Yeah. I bought, 1,000, and they're, you know what they are?
I bought it on my Overstock.com.
They're great in the winter because,
they're heavy.
They're heavy and they're relatively, they can keep all the heat trapped in. But I do like a flannel sheet in the winter.
Oh, I should try. I should go back to flannel. I've enjoyed flannel in the past.
Yeah, it's toasty. It's cozy. And, so you've made pillows, you've made clothing.
Mm-hmm. I made my dear friend Mary in Portland. I made her a dress, and it was supposed to be a dress. She had to wear it as a tunic because it was too short. She's a tall gal. And that was a.
Do you know how to measure people? For that, can you make
I should have. She was in
pattern?
Portland, and I thought I got the right size. There was a,
Because you buy a pattern, right? Is that what you do?
You buy a pattern, you do, and it has different sizes on it. You know, there's a 6, there's an 8, there's a 10.
Right.
You have to be careful though, because it's not your standard 6, 8, and 10. It's not the Gap 6, 8, and 10.
Do they run bigger than the Gap or smaller, to your knowledge?
Smaller.
A little bit smaller.
Smaller.
Interesting.
So the thing is, it was a nice little 60s A-line.
Oh, nice.
Mini dress. And she had to wear it as a tunic. She had to wear it over jeans. But God bless her, she did wear it. I sewed some stuff for myself when I was pregnant.
Oh,
so
nice.
I sewed some maternity clothes.
Very nice. Very nice.
Have
you ever tried a pant?
Yeah, I've done a pant. It has to be it's a loose pant.
Right.
It's not it can't be fancy.
Yeah.
I did a linen pant.
Oh, again with the linen?
Again with the linen, which is hard. And of course I did that under the tutelage of the teacher.
Right.
And of course it ends up costing, $150.
Right,
because you're in a private frickin' sewing lesson.
Right. What kind of, now do you have a nice sewing machine?
I have a cheap sewing machine.
Oh, do you?
Because I'm cheap and I bought it when I stopped smoking. I wasn't sure I was going to be I don't do fancy
you haven't
embroidery.
upgraded.
I haven't upgraded. You can get the ones that'll embroider a flower.
Oh, really?
Or that'll do a fancy decorative stitch. I don't have that.
Okay. So it just does a regular stitch. Because my grandmother had a singer.
Zigzag.
She had a
singer? Do I have a singer?
It's a singer with the pedal.
I have a pedal. It came from Sears.
Okay.
Sears makes a lot of.
Hers wasn't electric. Hers was
old school. Oh, old school.
That's not the one I learned on. We learned it at junior high. We learned
it's a workout.
Yeah. My sister has it. She sewed for a while and then
on the.
No,
it's like a handheld, but it's like a foot push.
It's a foot push, and she used it as an excuse to get it from my grandmother.
Oh, just
and now it's really beautiful.
Piece.
It's a nice piece.
It's a nice piece.
It's a sweet piece. But so yours is, because I think Andy has a sewing machine because he makes
sewing machine.
Yeah, because he costumes. He makes.
I didn't know he was a costumer.
No, he isn't. He's a nerd.
Enjoys costuming.
Yeah. He just likes to make a toy.
I've made costumes for my son.
Have you made?
I made him a ghost costume, but I happened to be on a show on the Disney Channel, interestingly, Disney XD, where they had a giant toothbrush. It's the fucking Disney Channel. They gave me a giant, it was a co-chair made Disney, a toothbrush just for me. It was around the time of Halloween. I wore the toothbrush out. I went trick-or-treating with him in my toothbrush, and everyone thought he was either a tooth,
right,
or a blob of toothpaste. The poor guy was supposed to be a ghost.
He was supposed to be a ghost.
And he was deeply frustrated.
Right, because
by the fact I pulled focus and they go, oh my God, that toothbrush. Oh, and how cute. A little molar.
A little molar, a little toothpaste. And he's like, I'm a ghost.
Do you see the black around my eyes? I'm a ghost. He doesn't cuss, so he wasn't going to say
right,
fucking.
He was 7 at the time, so it's hard to.
He was 5.
He was 5 again with that.
So I'd done some sewing for that. That, didn't work as well as I'd hoped.
Right. It's a learning curve.
My little daughter, I did Princess Leia, from China
nice.
off Amazon. I didn't sew it, but I fit it to her.
Oh, there you go.
I fit it to her little body. Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So I can do that.
Yeah. These are skills.
These are skills.
When the apocalypse comes. When
people will need my skills.
Right. When we go off the grid, and then you're going to have to actually.
And as an ill-fitting Princess Leia costume,
you're going to need that.
Me.
They're going to call you. I need my Princess Leia costume more fitted to myself. Is that something? Yes.
It is.
That I think is very important. And, I want to talk about this bargain business.
Oh,
You've mentioned it several times.
This is the biggest obsession in my life. It's a little embarrassing. I've decided to lean into it. I'm cheap.
Nice.
But, I try to be generous with others. I feel like I'm a generous-hearted gal.
Okay.
I try to be generous when I tip.
Yes.
Perhaps not overly generous, but 20%.
Okay.
I go 20. At least.
Do you know what that is? That's a fair wage.
I go at least 20%.
That seems fair.
But, what I do is I compulsively, coupon.
Doo-doo. Oh, I'm so sorry.
What I do, that was a joke on Dog with a Blog. You said doo-doo.
You said doo-doo? Mm-hmm. See, I could write comedy.
Why don't you come right on it? If we get picked up for a fourth. I'm going to suggest you.
Please do, because that's what I want to do. I want to spend 14 hours in a writer's room writing fisting jokes until I write something funny for Dog with a Blog. But
wait, have you been writing fisting jokes in a writer's room? They get raunchy in the writer's room. There's a lot of rape jokes.
This is the speculation, entirely speculative about what a writer's room would be like, because I've never wanted to be in one.
They're not pleasant places.
It feels like a lot of work.
Occasionally,
it feels like a little too much like work. Is what it feels
for
like.
Many hours, depending apparently on the health of the showrunner's family life. Because if the showrunner doesn't want to go home, you'll be there for 14 hours.
That is hilarious.
Day. Yeah,
that's interesting.
He don't want to go home.
Right.
Or she, but
he or she does not wish to, and they can't, and we live in Los Angeles, they can't take up ice fishing, which is another way to get away from your family.
I would never have thought.
Right. Minnesota. I lived there for 6 years, 7 years. And whenever you found out someone was into ice fishing, you'd look real close at their family life, because, those ice fishing huts, those shacks.
You stay there for what, days on end or what?
All day. And here's the thing. There's a TV, there's a heater, there's a tiny fridge.
Where do they get the electricity? Are they generating?
Yeah. The longest of all extension cords out onto
Crazy.
Yeah. What that is you don't want to hang out with anyone.
With your children or your wife.
Your children, your wife, your friends, whatever's happening. But the bargain
thing. Yeah. The bargain hunting. So I try to,
Did it start in college? A lot of people,
you know what it is. I have a mom who's a child of the Depression.
Oh, there you go.
So she's worse than I am. So she's worse than I am.
Did she teach you how to cut coupons?
Yeah, she certainly did. She taught me. The other thing that she taught me is that it's as devastating to lose $1.70. In a potential, I forgot to use the coupon, or they overcharged me at the grocery, or I could have. It's as devastating as like a stock market crash and your nest egg sort of disappearing.
Wow.
And there's no sense of balance. There's no proportion to waste or to savings or to, So the expired coupon, a little part of me dies.
It burns.
But
does it burn?
But a hardcore, like I've got my reward points. Yep. I've got my $5 off, and I've got free shipping on the internet. If I can do like a triple,
that is a trifecta.
Yeah, a trifecta of couponing on the online purchase.
Is it endorphin releasing?
It is a huge high. It's a high. They know me at certain stores in the mall, and I go, I love this. I love this.
Right, as
I get high off it. I'm taking too much time that people behind me are pissed off, but I'm finding the code that I got in the email. I'm going. There's bad reception in the mall, but I'm just going to keep trying to get that Wi-Fi connection to pull up that email.
Right.
Right. So it's a little obsessive, and I finally have leaned into it, and I just say, it's my sport of choice.
It is a game. It's a game.
I get high when I win. There's some losses, but I try to let them go. And, and it spends a lot of, here's the thing. A good therapist or someone who's more sane than I am will tell you that, your time is worth money, and you need to sort of, how much money is that time spent worth? And I would just say, I enjoy it.
Right.
So it's my recreational hobby.
It is a recreational hobby. And cause, there's a guy that I know who he sends out, he has not, I don't think he has embraced it as a hobby. He thinks it's some sort of job to save $250 by applying for the credit card, spending $500.
I do it all the time.
Well, he loves this thing. It's called Chip's Money Tips.
Okay.
It's Chip Chinnery. I don't know if you remember him from stand-up comedy.
I do.
Yeah.
Chip Chinnery. I've met him in person. Probably.
Sure. No, he does. He does
New
a lot
York,
of,
maybe.
Well, he lives here and he does a lot.
We all live here now. We all left New York, didn't we?
I think so. Or people are going to New York.
Oh, okay.
From here. And they're like, well, I lived there.
Do they like it better?
Grass is always greener. Yeah. Always greener.
It's what is it called? I pulled it. What do they say? I can't remember. Go ahead.
Oh, fair enough. I was going to say Ophira Eisenberg.
I pulled a geographical. That's what it's called. Have you heard that?
Yes.
When you just,
I called it a geographic or a geographical.
Okay, I pulled a geographical. Yes.
Yes. Where you're just like, I'm still with me though.
I'm still here.
I brought myself
even though I'm
with
there.
Me.
Yep.
Even though I'm there. Yeah, because I said in the car one time, I said, I think I need to spend more time in New York because all the comics in New York get, and I stopped talking. And Andy Ashcraft said, What do all the comics in New York get? And I said, They all get their own radio shows on Sirius and NPR. And he goes, yeah, I heard that about New York. All the comics have their own radio shows on NPR and
Is it
Sirius.
true?
No, 2 friends of mine have gotten them.
Okay.
That's not enough.
And that's not enough.
Ophira Eisenberg got a game show on NPR and
You
John
got your
Fugelsang
podcast, babe. Oh,
got a
John,
series.
right. Well,
yeah, and he got but the thing is I'm neither of those people.
John Fugelsang, he tweets his ass off, that guy.
Oh my God, that guy's working for a living.
That guy, boy, there's a lot coming out of that social media.
Well, he asked me to be on
Fugelsang's.
the show, and I said, and I want to ask him if he wants to do a segment where I don't know anything about the news, but I have an opinion. Are you willing to do that?
I love that. I love that.
I have a gut reaction to whatever you're about to tell me.
I love that because I don't know anything about the news. I've actually stuck my head in the sand, especially after giving birth, and then
Yeah.
having the
Having
Hausers come in
children's?
my life. It's someone came over and mentioned Ray Rice and I was like, who? And they looked at me like I was, you're not supposed to say, but they looked at me like,
Right?
how
Like
on
the thing you're
earth?
not supposed to say.
The thing you're not supposed to say.
Right.
And,
is he the football player who beat his kid up?
So
Okay.
not his kid, his wife.
Oh, his wife.
So I was home alone at night and I watched the entire video from the elevator where he knocked her out and then
Dragged her.
kicked her maybe
While
dead
down.
body, maybe dead. He didn't know. He didn't check a pulse. She could have been dead.
Right.
It looked like she was dead and he kicked her body around and tried to kick it out of the elevator, pulled it. It was the most horrifying thing. And I
can't
said, I
believe you-
don't need to do this to myself.
Yeah, you really
Right?
don't.
I mean, I've worked at an abused women's shelter. I'm aware. I was a women's studies major. I'm not.
You
I'm
know
not
that
trying
women
to
can be
like,
spelled with a Y.
I know that women. My God, I'm not trying to be a privileged, suburban lady. Although maybe I am a privileged suburban lady. Let's be frank.
Yeah, there's nothing to be done.
But there's nothing to be done about it. But the truth of the matter is, I don't need to watch that.
No. To know it is enough. To know it for me. I don't.
And to know it glancingly, like, okay, we need to do something about that.
I don't watch
and I'm
any
gonna
24/7 news.
You can't.
I get
You
all of my
can't.
news from I read it. I will not
Smart.
watch
No.
video because they
it's
create a
toxic.
hysteria. Yeah.
It's
And
a poison.
I don't want to be
that's coming out
made
of the screen.
hysterical. I think that that's an attainable goal to make me hysterical. So let's not.
When I first gave birth to the older son, I got, it was right after, there was Katrina right afterwards, and I was postpartum, and my father-in-law was there, and he likes the TV on all the time.
Oh, right.
And all the TV, it was, it wasn't 9/11, but it was its own version of we will
Of
just
sad.
rehash this
Yeah.
and show now the raping and the looting.
Yeah.
And there's just the wreckage. We're just going to show the wreckage.
Yes.
We're going to show it and show
I'm
it.
already
and show
depressed.
It. I'm sorry. Let's bring it back up. I'll leave the topic.
No.
But the truth of the matter
No,
is,
postpartum. You were depressed already.
I was already depressed, and it was seeping out. It was in my house, and it was in the air.
Yeah.
And I got in a fight with him. I said, "You have to turn it off."
You have to-
He's a grumpy old man. He wanted to watch his news.
Hey, Grumpy.
Grumpy,
go-
turn it off, or I'm good. There's something called postpartum psychosis, and I don't want to go there.
Right, and I will get away with it. I will walk
Because
I will get a good lawyer,
a diagnosis,
and I think
and it is an excuse.
Yes, that's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but it's so yes. I'm not. I would be on John's show. Him and Frank Conniff do, and Frank's his sidekick, I think, on the thing. He's on the show a lot. And
Thank you for bringing it back. I didn't know where we were.
Yeah, that's what.
Thank you for bringing it back. So
that's why I
you would
brought
be
it.
on John's show, and you would have an opinion, and he could bring us up
Yeah.
something.
But I would not have all of the information.
Well, he has a lot of information.
You
That
know,
man.
I do a joke based on how there's no information, and it's about how I don't like, because Paul Ryan is from Wisconsin, where I'm from,
Yeah.
and he genuinely looks like the guy who date raped me in college. So I say,
Oh, jeez.
that guy might have date raped me in college, and I say I'm not saying he did. I'm saying he looks like the guy, and he's age appropriate, and that seems close enough for the news. So why don't you pass that around as a rumor?
Hilarious. So why don't you pass that around as a what?
As a rumor.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
It's
That's
a-
exactly right. It's
Why
exactly
not?
right,
Because
Jackie.
nobody else has any information.
Holy
so let's
God,
all,
it's exactly right.
let's just go with that.
It's all
and I
sort of
don't like his
hysteria.
politics. I don't enjoy his politics.
Okay, I don't know
So-
him, but if
Oh.
he looks like a date rapist, I probably wouldn't like him.
No, and he doesn't enjoy. He'd like to make an elixir out of the poor, as far as I can tell.
Oh, goodness.
And I've been
I don't
poor.
want 'em.
Please don't do it. I think we're wasting so many geniuses when I think of the poor. Because just think if they had education and opportunity and lunch.
Well, is this going to sound a privileged white lady when I say I think it will. I'm going to say it anyway.
Say it anyway.
Can you cut it out if it's horrible? Okay. So my younger child is adopted.
Okay.
A young gal who I think might have been an extraordinary gal if she hadn't just been hollowed out by like abuse and neglect. She basically had 5 children by the time she was 22.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and so Hallie, my daughter was the 4th. And it was just like, just sleeping with the losers and just hoping that would cleave them together and that they would have a happily ever after, which of course, it
doesn't work.
The ones of those of us who need the fairy tales the most get the most devastating,
oh my God,
the most disastrous
Please
results.
write that book.
Oh, God. But my daughter, and I can brag because there's no genetic connection, scary smart.
Spooky
and
how smart.
I'm crediting Chantilly. I don't know who the birth that is. I'm crediting the birth mom.
The genetics there.
What a waste of that.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
look at the other 4
incredibly,
kids. Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't know them, but I tell you, Chantilly, and it's unfortunate their name is Chantilly and her middle name is Lace, but she's still,
that is a lot.
It's a lot to
but
carry.
Her mom clearly loved her and wanted her to be a pretty girl.
and I think unfortunately that's what it comes down to is like, am I pretty enough? Do you love me enough? And I'll have your baby. And, but what a mind. I think there's a great mind there. Yeah. An inquisitive mind, and
so much potential.
A wasted mind. And I tell you that whatever genetic loading Hallie, my daughter, got from Chantilly, it's scary smart.
And it can be put to work because she has lunch and she can go to school. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be real nice.
So I wish that we could do something for the Chantillys.
Yeah, what the heck?
I tried.
I'm a big fan of mass legislation about helping the poor everyone get
poor babe.
Remember Rockefeller? He was like, why not everyone has access to a library?
Yeah.
I'm a bad guy, but let's use my powers for good.
That's fantastic. So was it Rockefeller who said, let's have everyone have access to a library? I didn't know that.
He donated he created the library system.
I love that.
I love a library. And you know what Reagan would say? See, that was created with private money. And you're like, and it's sustained with public money. Mm-hmm. And let's, not everybody chooses to share once they've raped the land, and looted, the workers. So why don't we legislate that everyone has to share? Anarchic socialist, Jackie Cation.
I love you.
I'd like everyone to choose to share.
I love you for it.
We're plugging along. I have weeded you way off the good times.
It's all right. This is how I roll though, Jackie. This is how I roll. I'll bring us back. Where were we? We were sewing, dancing cheap. We were talking about bargains.
You ever go to the 99-cent store?
You know what? I have in my wallet a card for a free item at the 99-cent store. And I've really kind of just been waiting because what I've been passing is the Dollar Tree. I've been passing the copies of the 99-cent store.
You need 99 cents only. That's where, is it a card for a free
store.
item?
It's a card. It's not going to work at the Dollar Tree or the Dollar Store. There's a
brand.
There's a whole just giant say the word for me. Proliferation of them.
Sure.
I don't have one near me. There's one in Burbank I think I need to get to. So I can use my 99-cent gift card.
Yeah, you can do it. And I think it's
you know what
I'm having a hard time
it's great
talking.
for if anyone has kids out there, it's great for let's kill some time.
It's a good
You can go
eater.
pick out one treat at the 99-cent store at the dollar store. I have a dollar store near me. We're going to get on our little scooters.
That's it.
Our little bikes.
$1.08.
We're going to go 2.5 blocks away.
Yep.
And you can pick out a treat.
When I first moved to Los Angeles, very poor, but sometimes would want to take myself out, treat myself right.
Yeah.
Me and my roomie, Jen McLean, she's like, we need to go spend $5 each at the dollar store.
Love it.
And what it is, it just stops the voices. It really does. It's soothing.
Soothing.
And it's a game.
Yeah,
and
it's self-soothing.
And granted,
it's better than crack.
It's so much better than crack or smoking or any
of those things that we use to fill the hole.
Exactly.
It fills the hole with $5.
Yes.
You're helping the economy. Whatever.
Yes.
It's a cheap high, basically.
It's a super cheap high. And I do there's different things everybody does. I reread a book.
Oh, sure.
That's because I know how it goes. I know how it works out.
It's a good read.
And it's
a
real
good comforting read. It's comfort food. It's comfort food for the soul and the mind.
Right. Without actually eating, which is also hard to not do.
Yes.
But, and it's better than that.
But comfort buying, if you're going to do it at the dollar store or do it on Amazon
with super weird stuff. Like what's the weirdest bargain? Do you remember finding cool, weird stuff?
Well, I've tried and I try to stop myself from there's food at my dollar store.
Oh, there's food at ours too.
And you just don't know. You don't know. It's from another country, maybe.
It's in Arabic. It's in Spanish. It's in something.
I've done food. I've done a spaghetti sauce. It hasn't been great.
I recommend boxed. I don't recommend any of the jarred.
Don't go jarred.
Or canned is sometimes okay.
You know what
Don't
I love
go
getting at
produce.
the dollar store? You know, you get a cheap water gun. They last a week or two. It's fine.
Right.
I get a gift bag. That's always a good thing.
For instead of wrapping paper.
Instead of wrapping paper, you know,
That's nice.
There's a lot of birthday parties in my life because the kids go to a lot of birthday parties.
Right.
So I get the dollar store gift bags. It's not $4.99. It's $1. I've already paid for the gift. I don't want to pay $5 for the gift bag.
And nobody's excited about the gift bag.
No one cares.
Right. It's got a
maybe
star
they
on
reuse it. Maybe they throw it away.
Right. And it's got a star on it. That means happy birthday.
Yeah.
That means it's all good. The funniest thing I ever found at the dollar store, probably 2003, 2004, right? The war had just started. I go to the dollar store. They had lighters that had soldiers standing in the lighter fluid.
I've never seen it.
Little
That's
dark.
wild.
Little dark. It's
Wow.
like, we just sent
in the
troops
lighter.
into Iraq.
Not even a painting on. Like not even
that guy
an image
standing
on.
in lighter fluid.
God.
I've met that guy. That poor bastard.
Oh, and I'm setting him on fire now.
And now he's going to set whatever.
He's setting fire to your...
I bought like a dozen of them, gave them away at shows, and then regretted I didn't keep one. But you know what? That's the thing about the dollar store. You got to let it go. You learn to let it go.
No, you do. When the water guns no longer work, when you've given away the lighters with soldiers in them.
Do you ever go to like Ross Dress for Less?
Oh,
like
all the
TJ
time.
Maxx?
Yesterday I was at TJ Maxx, and yesterday I was, with the Beverly connection. I don't know if we have a lot of local folks. It's got a TJ Maxx, it's got a Ross, and it's got a Marshalls.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know that you get kids' shoes at Marshalls.
Yep.
I know that Ross is the trashiest of the trifecta.
Right.
It's the trashiest of the three.
But sometimes the latest designs are at the Ross.
Ross is fine. Ross is like, you know what?
It's
Ross
gonna
is a
fall
little
apart
more
almost immediately.
Ross is a little more of a vigorous sport because you really do have to look a little deeper.
Are you good at that?
I'm fantastic at it.
Oh,
I love doing
amazing.
it.
And you love doing it.
And I love doing it. And then this particular TJ Maxx has something called like Off the Runway, or what's it called? Runway. It's basically you can find a Helmut Lang piece.
Oh, really?
It might have a hole in it, but you take it to the reweaver.
That's it.
Or
the
you try to
reweaver.
sew it.
Or you sew it yourself. That's right.
And then it no longer looks like a Helmut Lang.
Right, but you take it to the people, and they can bring it up a notch.
Yeah, and
what I like about Marshalls is you can get like a platter.
Oh, you can get so many lovely
like a
home deck
kitchen-y.
things at the Mar. If you need do you need a ladle?
If you need a ladle,
you go to the home section of the Marshalls.
That is interesting. Or an alarm clock,
right?
Sometimes
or a 400 count sheet. Because we've decided that you can't go above 400.
You don't even need to. 450.
This is so good to know because I got a new bed, a new sized bed.
Yeah.
And I got 1,000 count sheets and they're killing me.
And you're like, why aren't these the greatest sheets I've ever had in my life?
Because they're more expensive and they're higher dense. They're too dense.
Too dense.
Interesting.
It's a fascinating world. The Dark Forest is full of fascinating fun facts that you could.
I hope people are getting something out of it.
Oh, I think that they're Rangers. Jackie at JackieCation.com. You know the drill. Just email me, tell me how great Beth Littleford was. We are at, by the way,
I'm a little insecure.
we're at an hour.
We're at an hour.
Yeah.
It did go fast.
It went so fast.
Oh my God. Will you edit out anything that's really embarrassing?
No, because there wasn't anything. It all worked out. Audiobooks.
Yeah, I'm listening to one right now. That,
what are you listening
know what?
to?
Now I'm like,
I love 'em.
I'm listening to Little Lies, Big Lies. Leanne Moriarty is an Australian author. I've seen this on people's desks. It's a hit right now. Just as a novel, it's a page turner. But fiction. I tell you what, it's fiction, and it's not chick lit. It's deeper than that. There's a depth, and there's a page turning element. It's not cheesy. It's fantastic. And it's even better with a good narrator.
Okay.
And I've got a fantastic narrator in my car right now.
Little Lies, Big Lies.
Big Lies, Leanne Moriarty.
Okay. And I've never heard
And so you've
of
got
it.
a fantastic Australian gal narrating. She's doing the voices. She's funny. She can deliver a joke.
So it's pretty funny. It's pretty well written.
It's well written, but there's some darkness in it. There's some abuse of women, and there's some
slice of life.
It's not slice of life. It starts with it's fascinating because it mocks the preciousness of parents of their little darling babies in kindergarten but there's a parent who dies and there was accidental death. Did someone kill? Did someone push? Did someone? Well, I don't even know the whole story, but basically I am about 10 hours in.
Yeah.
And I will do the thing that, you see, the ice fishermen or the husbands who are sitting in their driveway or who are parking nearby their house but not going home yet. I'll sit and listen because I can't put it down. I can't turn off the car.
Because it's that good.
It's that good.
Well, people, there's everybody,
good narrator.
Almost all Rangers of the Dork Forest are working very different levels. They're reading a book. They got one on their Kindle, a little backup.
Right.
Some people do a backup audiobook. This is always
audiobook.
nice.
I've enjoyed something like, The Help. I enjoyed movie, book, and audiobook. Audiobook I went through twice, and book I went through twice, and I believe movie I went through twice.
Okay.
So Octavia Spencer did the audiobook.
That's
well as
nice.
The movie. I believe they actually, I think they did the audiobook first and said, this gal's good, because she was not a huge name until The Help. So I believe they were impressed by her audio skills and put her in the movie. But and then there's some, The Life of Pi.
I've read that.
Okay. The narrator sounded too much like Apu from The Simpsons.
Right.
And I couldn't
do it.
Couldn't do it.
There's ones I haven't been able to do. Thief of Swords, I think it was. And, I am part of my brother Philip's, Audible account.
Oh, right. So Audible, it's like, I don't do Netflix, I do audible.com.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Have you, the last, and I talk, because I re-listen to them all the time. If it's a great book. Bossy
why
Pants.
Not? Oh, Bossy Pants is a fantastic comedy album. You go to audible.com and it's rated top. It's a top rated audiobook.
It's hilarious.
Deservedly so. It's a fantastic comedy album. Everyone run, don't walk.
Yeah. And listen to Tina Fey reading her own book.
And I just did Amy Poehler's too, and that's fantastic. If you're going to,
good.
If you're going to read a Carol Burnett, a Jane Lynch, or Mindy Kaling.
Yeah.
Listen to them.
Because they read them?
Because they read
Carol
them.
Burnett read hers?
Yes. And she didn't even have that much to say, but she's Carol Burnett.
But it's awesome. It's Carol Burnett. Yeah.
Right.
I would read the phone book.
Margaret Cho, Steve Martin, the one.
Sarah.
I didn't listen to Sarah Silverman's. I should.
Not Silverman. Assassination Vacation.
Sarah Thayer wrote
Lowell?
a book.
Sarah. Oh my God, people are screaming at the thing. Assassination Vacation.
How do I not know?
Wordy Shipmates.
What are you naming? I don't know what you're naming. Books?
Those are the books. And her name is Sarah, and she's always on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
Which I don't watch anymore, even though
she's squeaky voiced, and looks like Wednesday from
the Addams Family.
From the Addams Family. Dark side,
but I don't know her.
Chick.
Okay, so I don't know her. So you're turning me on to her right now.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so she's Sarah something.
Yes,
and it's a Hoy Shipmatey. What is it?
The Wordy Shipmates. They're historical. They're the historical, partly cloudy patriot.
So it's historical fiction.
It's nonfiction. It's anecdotal.
Will I enjoy it?
History. Yeah, the Wordy Shipmates you have to listen to on Audible on audio because it is a textbook. And it's got anecdotes in it of her taking her nephew around.
What's hard about a really dense textbook is that you're stopping and starting. I'm going to the grocery store. Can I keep up? Okay.
Assassination Vacation is the best one. Okay. And because it's the history of McKinley, Garfield, and Lincoln. And it's her going to these different places with her sister and her nephew.
Oh.
And different places where they're storing like Lincoln's bloody like collar. And you're like, why?
I'm not a big history buff or fan, but maybe if she brings a little fun thing
hilarious.
to it. Okay. There you go.
She is hilarious.
You've hooked me. Okay.
What the hell is her name? I hate me, right now. And
That's all right. People are Googling it. They're finding it.
They know. I've mentioned it enough.
The listeners at home are finding it.
I've mentioned it so many times.
Okay, so she's on the list. No, but it's nice to, I really do. I take the Audible ratings very seriously. Does the narrator have high ratings? I'll listen to a sample.
Oh, nice. Do you ever listen to the Harry Potter books?
Oh, he's fantastic. Is it Jim Daly? Right?
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah.
So those are great. Those are great listens. Interestingly, I'm such a wimp about dark. I had to stop after novel 4.
Oh, right. Cause they get dark.
And I had my husband stop. I said, with Art's boy, I said, let's not go past 4.
I wouldn't start them with a kid until they're 11.
Right. Okay.
Because, my niece just turned 8 and she wants to read them. And I was like, she's going to want to read all of them immediately. And they get super dark.
There's a lightness to there's a magical fun, whimsical lightness to the
The Hobbit's fine.
Oh, is The Hobbit fine?
The Hobbit is
my
totally
husband
fine.
did read that to my son. But, okay. But you don't want to go Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings gets too dark.
Lord of the Rings it's too intense.
It's intense.
It's boring.
The effing movie I was just like, we watched the first and I was like, do I have to do like 9 more hours of this until they find the ring?
Yeah, the what he's doing in the movies is something different than the books.
Okay.
So
I don't remember the books.
Well,
I was in the play of The Hobbit. I played Gandalf.
Congratulations. Because you're tall.
You.
Because you're tall.
And it was an all-girls school.
Of
I was
course.
there for a year. Okay, so there was no choice. And we all were playing male parts. Go ahead. I cut you off. The Hobbit.
The Hobbit is fine for the boy. The last, for children, Andy, his mom read it to him when he was 5.
Oh.
And,
It was fine?
yeah, it was fine. The
Not
last,
scarring?
no, not at all. The last part of the book is a battle that is in the movie. It's half of the movie. In the book, it's 2 paragraphs.
Right. So not
over.
a ton of bloody.
And then Bilbo goes home, and his cousins have moved in, and it's funny scene.
Yeah.
So,
that's nice.
Adorable.
That's nice.
So I recommend The Hobbit for sure.
Safe reading, safe listening.
Yeah, safe reading. You can read that to him, and he will and it'll be good for him.
No, I actually think my husband did. My husband's he's a nerd and he loves all that stuff.
and
he was a
loves all
Dungeons
that
and
stuff.
Dragons guy. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Then The Hobbit's
kill
fine.
you for my telling you, but yeah,
no,
kill me for my telling you. Yes.
I'm a 17th level rogue. Don't worry about it. I play Eberron.
Oh, it's
we're
right
playing
audience.
this Saturday.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love it.
Space in the world.
I love
Beth
it.
Littleford, what is your handle on Twitter?
It's Beth Littleford.
Oh, oddly enough.
Yeah, and then I got a Facebook thing going on. I mean, I have to
You
tell
got
you,
your
I'm under a
website?
Disney morals contract, so it's all very clean.
Okay.
There's some inspirational sayings.
Sure.
There's a lot of dog with the blog push.
Right.
When I
Go back
leave
in time.
when I leave the Disney morals clause, when I
Yes.
get out of it, when I'm released, I might
gonna swear
I might have a
and
little more.
you might
my
even
own
spit.
personality. I might swear and spit.
Right.
But go a little blue. But yes, and so then the Instagram is Beth Littleford official because interestingly, before I knew how to do the social media, the kids teach you. They want to do this. Somebody took the name
Beth
and then they got a lot of followers. And then I said, okay, somebody told me to go Beth Littleford official. A social media expert said do Beth
So
Littleford
that's your
official.
that's your
So that's
Instagram.
my Instagram, but nobody believed it for a while because they said, well, she
Get
only has
verified?
200 followers. I don't know that you do on
Instagram.
You do on Twitter. Someone
Yeah.
actually had taken a little Disney fan years ago when I'd done a little Disney movie, took Beth Littleford and was talking about, 14-year-old boys. And ultimately I got the name back. I got verified. It's cool. It's fine. If the people want to, I do nice inspirational sayings and I do the occasional comment
so
and I
Twitter,
do some draw with the blog
Instagram,
stuff.
You take some pictures.
I take some pictures.
BethLittleford.com.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to update, keep the people in touch with what's
In the
going on
loop.
with me in the loop. You know what I love to do, Jackie, is I'm not a stand-up, but I do love to do some funny spoken word.
A little
some
storytelling?
meaningful, little storytelling, a little one-woman showy stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's gonna be more of that on the horizon for me, and I will put that on the website.
I can't wait to see that.
I'll put that on the website.
Yeah, you guys.
Everyone,
let's tweet at her and say, when's that happening? When'd you
right,
get on that? In your
I'll
copious
be
amounts of free
harassed
time.
into writing some
Yeah.
and getting booking space and putting it up.
So great. Beth, you rock. Thank you
rock,
so much.
Jackie. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?